Hello everybody and welcome to the ESI Digest. I'm Tom Daniels, the sub-editor of Esports Insider, and we're about to run through the biggest esports business-related news stories of the week. And I can tell you this, it has been a manic week in terms of esports news. So we're going to jump into it. We've got 5 stories. I'm going to be talking about G2 Esports and their adidas partnership. We've also got Ubisoft renewing their PayPal deal for Rainbow Six Siege Esports. PGL hosting a CSGO major in 2021, so that's very interesting. Aerial Powers, the former WNBA champion, has become a team ambassador of Team Liquid. And then finally, we're going to be talking about 100 Thieves and AT&T. So let's talk about that massive news which came out, I believe, yesterday between G2 Esports and Adidas. What has essentially happened is it is a 2-year partnership with Adidas where they will be supplying their sports apparel, which includes their jerseys. It also does include like a sports apparel range. It's a multifaceted partnership, and this is very big for G2 Esports as well. I managed to go to the press conference, and I think what was interesting enough already was the fact that there was mainstream appeal with this partnership. There were a lot of media conglomerates which were there, and they were very interested in kind of seeing what this partnership was with Adidas. And I think the kind of reality is that this is a partnership where both are going to collaborate together on a range of merchandise, on a range of activations, and it's going to be very interesting to see. I cannot wait to kind of see what activations they do in the future. They started off on the right foot with their advert announcing the news as well, so it seems like it's very much a collaborative effort between both entities. And we just got to see how it goes, but this is a huge deal for the esports industry as well. Next up on the ESI Digest is Ubisoft revealing that it has renewed its PayPal partnership until I believe it's 2022. Now this is specifically for Rainbow Six Siege. Now PayPal and Ubisoft have been partners together since 2018, and I think what's very interesting about this partnership in particular is the fact that PayPal has remained relatively loyal, I would say, to Ubisoft in terms of PayPal doesn't really expand outside anywhere else in the esports industry in terms of a major partnership like this. So the new agreement basically sees PayPal sponsor and become the official payment platform of all or a lot of Ubisoft's Rainbow Six Siege tournaments, including the esports circuit as well. And I do think that this is a massive partnership for Rainbow Six as well, to kind of keep PayPal as a major contributor you would probably expect from like a brand perspective, but then also for PayPal to kind of show that they're loyal to Rainbow Six Siege, to that esports ecosystem. In the article itself, you can kind of see that like PayPal is very much wanting to establish itself as a name in Rainbow Six Siege, and I think both kind of partnerships have helped each other in terms of finding a new player base and finding a new consumer base. PayPal, because it kind of sticks with that, demographic, which I think a lot of entities and a lot of brands are kind of wanting to establish, which is that younger demographic. But then also Rainbow Six Siege of having like a highly reputable partner to continue supporting their events. And this is till 2022. I wonder what kind of content we'll get out of that as well, which I think will be, intriguing to see. Let's talk about some CSGO. And I think this is a long time coming, but tournament organizer PGL has announced that they will be hosting a CSGO major in 2021. Now, the date is scheduled, I believe, around November time. I think it's October, November. It's roughly coming to the end of the year. This is huge for the CSGO community as well, because we haven't had a major in about 2 years. I think it was like 2019 was like the last one, because obviously for all of 2020, not many majors have basically been able to happen because of the coronavirus pandemic. And then also it looks like it's kind of going to be a similar situation for a lot of kind of events leading up to that. So this is announced as kind of like the first major announced in 2021. There could be majors which are announced prior to that also, but this is the first one which we officially know hopefully is going to be happening. PGL obviously know the significance of hosting a CSGO major. This is the 3rd time hosting a CSGO major. I believe that this is the 16th major overall, and it's going to be held in Stockholm, which again, the number 3 is the 3rd time that Stockholm has held a CSGO major as well. They're going to have a $2 million prize pool in this competition as well, which I believe is the most that a CSGO major has ever had. So this is very much a welcome back to CSGO, it feels like. You know, we're getting kind of these tournament organizers now start to prepare a lot more, and we're going to get a little bit more semblance of normalcy, hopefully, in the CSGO community. And I think it needs it. And getting this kind of announcement you see from the reception, which people have kind of had from teams, from pros, from, you know, personalities alike, it's been nothing but positive news, and hopefully, you know, they're expecting to kind of have a live crowd for this. We'll have to see if it is, but whether it is or whether it not, I think having a CSGO major in 2021 is great news for everybody involved. Another story that has sparked interest in the esports world this week is the announcement that Aerial Powers, the WNBA champion or former WNBA champion in 2019, has announced that she will be an ambassador of Team Liquid. Now, Aerial Powers is no stranger to esports. She's collaborated with kind of the Global Esports Federation, I believe, with like there's a panel which I think she's a part of, and she's also have other activations in esports in the past. She's someone who's very passionate about gaming, and so when you kind of have someone with mainstream appeal such as Aerial Powers, it made sense for Team Liquid to kind of pick her up. And it's not just as an ambassador, as a brand ambassador. I think the official title is Brand and Diversity Ambassador, but it's also going to be as a streamer as well. Aerial Powers will also be running, I believe, Team Liquid's like diversity task force, which is all about, I believe, probably bringing inclusion into Team Liquid, but then also probably the greater esports community as well, which is always a good thing. We kind of need more inclusivity in esports. And I think having Aerial Powers as an ambassador for Team Liquid just makes sense in that front. The final story of the digest is a story which I feel like has gone under the radar because a lot of teams have announced partnerships, and this was, I believe, like in the middle of the week. 100 Thieves have announced a multi-year partnership. Again, we're talking about multi-years here. No, gone are the days, I think, of kind of one-year tryouts with the esports industry. We've got a multi-year partnership with AT&T. That is for the entire organization as a whole, but what is also very interesting is the American conglomerate is going to be the presenting partner of 100 Thieves' Valorant team. This kind of signifies two things: that we've got this overarching sponsorship, which we're kind of seeing a lot more with organizations, and then also you've got this singular sponsorship, which is a presenting sponsorship with the Valorant team, which obviously signifies there'll be content which comes out around 100 Thieves Valorant. Much like the Adidas G2 deal, I feel like this does signify how brands are willing to invest in esports organization as long as there is a brand around it. It is not just about tangible success. There has to be something which I feel like mainstream audiences could also find relatable, especially in that key kind of 18 to 25 probably demographic, which a lot of brands are probably looking at. And that's what I mean. You kind of look at G2, they've got obviously the tangible successes, but they've got this kind of persona around them. 100 Thieves, another one. You kind of forget that 100 Thieves has only been an esports organization since 2017. Obviously, Nadeshot has been prior before that, but the actual organization and the actual persona of 100 Thieves has been, 4 years. At the end of the day, getting back to the AT&T sponsorship specifically, it'll be interesting to see kind of what content they kind of push through, kind of what this kind of Valorant focusing presenting partnership is going to be. Like I said, it probably screams to more content. And yeah, I think this is just another interesting deal which has happened in the esports industry, which again, I feel like has just gone under the radar a little bit. Speaking of under the radar, there is one other partnership, or two partnerships actually, that I do want to cover just briefly in this ESI Digest, and that is going to be the supermarket showdown that is appearing to, occur between SK Gaming and Team Vitality. SK Gaming have announced that they have partnered with Lidl to become their official sponsor ahead of the 2021 esports season. Now, this is really intriguing. Obviously, you can see that it's going to be a very standard sponsorship in terms of the fact that there's just going to be promotion, and also I believe it's around like healthy eating and kind of promoting a healthy lifestyle as well. You also partner that up with the fact that Team Vitality has announced a partnership with Audi, and it's really interesting to see two esports organizations going to the retail kind of sector and trying to use that sector a little bit more into trying to garner more of an audience. But then also, alternatively, it's really interesting to see the fact that Lidl and Audi have both made their debut on the esports scene, both with two teams which are very synonymous with League of Legends. Now, I do have to put that preface with the fact that Audi's partnership with Team Vitality does not include the LEC team. It includes more of like the Fortnite teams and a couple other teams who are partnered with that as well. But the SK Gaming one does include, I believe, the League of Legends team as well. So they are two slightly different partnerships, but two brand new entities which have gone into the esports sector. And it'll be really interesting to see what other kind of sectors, try their luck in the esports scene as well. And that was the last story for the ESI Digest. As you can tell, it has been a massive week, and I've just covered the surface of the content which has kind of come out onto this website. In terms of sponsorship deals, in terms of some of the features which have also come out this week. I would recommend anybody, if there was a week to check out ESI's website, it would probably be now. Like, this has been a huge week in terms of sponsorship because that season is starting. But anyway, I'll still be back here next week, and hopefully it'll probably be just as busy as a week in terms of an episode for me anyway. And this has been Tom Daniels, and we'll see you later.